So quickly, we are moving to the next presenter. So Dr. Sailesh Iyer, the keynote speaker for today for the session, and Dr. Sailesh Iyer has a PhD in computer science and currently serving as a professor at Rai University, Ahmedabad. He has more than 22 years of experience in academics, industry, and corporate training, out of which 18 years are in core academics. He is involved as an editor for various book projects with River Publishers, IGA Global, and Bentham Science. A hardcore academician and administrator, he has excelled in corporate training, delivered expert talk in various AICT-sponsored STTPs, FDP, reputed universities, government or organized workshops, orientation and refresher courses organized by HRDC, Gujarat University. Research contributions include reputed publications, track chair at ICD LAIR 2020, that is Springer, Italy, IC Softcom 2020, IEMIS 2020 Springer, IC RITO 2020 IEEE, and TPC member of various reputed international and national conferences. Reviewer of international journals like Multimedia Tools and Applications, Springer, International Journal of Big Data Analytics in Healthcare, IGA Global, Journal of Renewable Energy and Environment, and editor in various journals. Expert talk, research based topics in various universities and conferences, in addition to guiding research scholars as a supervisor. He has also been invited as a judge for various events, examiner for reputed universities. He is a Computer Society of India lifetime member and also serving as managing committee member, CSI Ahmedabad chapter, since last 2 years. Research interest areas include computer vision and image processing, cyber security, data mining and analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So for the next keynote session, I'm inviting Dr. Sailesh Iyer, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prakash. It's a pleasure to connect with you, and I'm always looking forward to the conference where probably we are connecting for the same. Now, a very good morning to all the delegates and the participants. I would just like to share my screen. So like I would be talking in the short span that is given to me, I would be rather focusing upon the multidisciplinary engineering research opportunities and challenges towards sustainability. Because this is the theme since last probably 2020. Sustainability is a bigger theme, and this is being concentrated upon right now. So there are like around 17 sustainable development goals, which is also known as SDG. So the earlier speaker was just concentrating upon our entire system and how we can relate with the internal and external aspects. I would just like to take it a little bit forward and to actually the commercial and the social aspects and the technology aspects in my talk that I would be concentrating upon. So goal 1 here is end poverty in all the forms everywhere. Now this is a big challenge because not only India, but many countries are not still totally out of poverty, despite being independent or despite being a democratic nation for so long. We have not been able to end poverty. So we are just going to explore how engineering and technology can help in ending this poverty. There are already a lot of technological advancements where we are seeing that many government schemes direct transfer into the bank accounts, direct beneficiaries are being benefited. So we are working towards that, but I think so this is just a small step towards that. Second goal is end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Now this is an area where a lot of technology is being implemented in real sense, because what we are seeing here is that we will not be seeing a farmer toiling in the farm. I would be showing one of the slides where a future smart farm would be depicted. We actually are looking at farmers being smart, and they are sitting in their offices, or their maybe a corporate office. Farmer can be a corporate entity also. So they are sitting in their corporate office or their regular office or house and operating the entire farming, which is automated through some devices. So this is probably where we are looking at sustainability for agriculture. Third goal is ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Now, healthcare has been a huge sector which has come out as the biggest beneficiary of government schemes and various other private bodies uh, post-COVID. Post-COVID, I'm saying because still there are some waves coming. There are some we are looking at third wave being completed and fourth wave coming. But still, I would like to say that after first and second wave, we are out of it mostly. So I would like to say that we are in the post-COVID era. So here, healthcare automation is the biggest challenge, and that is where I think so most of the technological advancements are being focused upon. Fourth goal is ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong. Uh, Now, see, there should be equal opportunities for all. So when we are looking at gender equality, also fifth goal is gender equality, empowering all women and girls. So there are many such things which can be done using technology, which can actually lead to this particular objective being or goal being met. Sixth goal is ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Now, water is a big problem. As per some statistics in 2025, this is the way we continue, we would not be having water for our daily routine activities. So, Save Water campaign is already going on. A lot of NGOs are also into it. Government is also into it. But we need to look at proper management through smart water meter management and how we can go about it. So that is the biggest challenge that we are facing right now. Goal 7 is ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Here, energy management, or you can say that renewable energy sources and how we can manage them properly, how we can implement them. Because again, we are running out of the traditional energy sources, and we have to look at modern and renewable energy sources. So this is probably where we can look at these options. Goal 8 is promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth. Now, again, this I would just like to relate to a concept where what is the problem right now that we are facing is that people from villages are not able to get that kind of employment and earnings, and they are not able to sustain themselves in villages. So they are moving out, especially the younger generation in the villages. They are moving out to cities. Now, cities are already overpopulated, facilities are less. Now, they are creating an overload in the cities. So, I mean, during this COVID also, we could find that migrant laborers had to actually go back to their villages. They were not being supported here in the cities because of the size of the cities and the population, etc., and the facilities. So, these are all the issues that we need to deal with. So, can we provide sustainable growth for villages and cities alike? So smart cities and smart villages are the answer probably, and this is where I think so the main focus would be that at least by 2030 we are expecting that 50% of the cities and villages would be smart in the true sense. Now government is working towards it. We also need to work as academicians and as researchers. We also need to work on this domain, and probably we are doing our little bit. Goal 9 is built infrastructure. Now, infrastructure is already there, but we need to build an infrastructure where we can support uh, development in a big way. We can promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and we can also promote innovation. Now, here SSIP, I mean, I would just like to acknowledge that today is World IP Day, right? And this is probably the biggest tribute to innovation that we are having this conference today, so that we can actually acknowledge the particular development done in the field of innovation also. So industrialization and innovation are the need of the hour, and student startup and innovation policy is the right step of the governments towards promoting innovation, promoting patents. And also IIC, Institution Innovation Council, is also done at the central level to promote all these activities. So probably government is taking a big step forward. We have to support them by giving a platform and by giving the necessary mentoring support to them. Goal 10 is reduce inequality within and among countries. Now, this is a little bit broad term, and we'll have to, once we have a lot of sustainable solutions, then we'll be able to replicate it in different countries. That can lead to a proper entire development of all the countries. But otherwise, there's a lot of imbalance right now that needs to be removed. Goal 11 is make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Now, safety is a big provision which probably can come if all the facilities are given. Because of the imbalance, also a lot of crimes are happening. So if this imbalance is removed, if this economic imbalance, social imbalance is removed, then probably I think that cities will become more sustainable, safe, and resilient. So goal number 12 is ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Now here, the entire supply chain management also can be automized for a lot of such facilities being given, where industrialization and goods reaching the right people at the right time. So we have a lot of technologies, like we have automation, we have in supply chain management, actually blockchain is also being included now. To trace and to provide authentication for the particular supply chain that we are following. So all this can lead to a better growth and sustainable consumption story going ahead. Fake medicines, all this can be prevented with the help of implementing blockchain and IoT in supply chain management. Goal 13 is take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. So climate change is a huge challenge going forward. I would just like to dedicate a few slides on climate change, where I'll be talking about how AI can implement, or AI can change the way the climate change is happening right now. Because it's very unpredictable weather right now. Sometimes in summer season also it's raining, it's cloudy, there are a lot of cyclones coming. All this is the result of the imbalance created in the ecosystem, and we need to deal with it. Goal 14 is conserve and sustainable use of oceans, seas, and marine resources. Now, a survey said that during COVID, when there was lockdown, the sea water and the ocean water and many new species which were not visible in the water actually turned up, and we could see that they are really, there were many species which are surviving in the oceans, but they were not coming out due to the pollution that we are creating in the ocean and the seas. So we need to conserve them also. We need to promote proper hygienic disposal of the waste also. So that is also, recycling is also one of the keys. Goal number 15 is protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably combat deforestation. All these changes need to be done, because forests are reducing, and this is creating a lot of, I mean, this is indirectly and directly related with climate change, many kind of earthquakes happening. So all these are related. So how we can sustain our land resources, that's a huge challenge. Before a few days we had celebrated the World Earth Day, so there also a lot of challenges were being meant. But the only problem here is that we celebrate the day and then we forget it. We need to do a continuous effort where technology can help out in all these areas. Goal number 16 is promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institution at all levels. So this is something which has more to do with the social fabric, and I think so if all the other goals are satisfied, this will immediately be reflected in the whole system. Last goal is strengthen and the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Now here we don't need a scenario where we have neighbors fighting with each other. So we need to have a ecosystem which is balanced enough and which is therefore inclusive growth. So there are a lot of threats right now. There's a lot of money being spent on wars, on different other things which are actually used to safeguard our borders. But instead of that, if that money is spent on sustainable development, I think all the countries would benefit from it. So these are the 17 goals which we are looking at. Now, this is the imbalance that I was talking about. There, those who are rich, I mean, this is just an example of the corporate offices, how they are located, see the kind of post locations, how the computers are being used for betterment. And there are one fragment of population which are actually uh, very poor and they are actually struggling for their needs. So when you see this imbalance, actually the most of the problems come from this imbalance. So how can we remove this imbalance, or at least how can we reduce the imbalance? So that is, I think, so the biggest challenge where technology, we should be looking at engineering solutions and social solutions which can work towards this. Second issue is environmental pollution or degradation. Now this is a common scenario. I mean, mask we are wearing because of COVID, but otherwise normally when we are going in the peak hours, we need to have some kind of mechanism to protect ourselves from the pollution. So there's a lot of environmental degradation and pollution happening, and overconsumption is there. We are not, we are treating as if we have taken our climate for granted. So that is the whole issue here. We are over consuming goods which are actually very limited. So we need to look at that. Again, health concerns are also there. Like I would just like to say here that healthcare sector is the biggest, healthcare and IT are the biggest sectors that have benefited since 2020. Work from home, IT companies have really grown because a lot of solutions can be given without affecting the work atmosphere. But here, when I look at these solutions like pollution, now how can we reduce the pollution? For that, again, we can have smart vehicles, we can have autonomous driven vehicles, we can have public transport. So a lot of people are using individual transport for that. So sustainable solutions need to be provided here. Traffic management, pollution management, all these systems need to be put in place. So here I think so technology can play a very big role going forward. These are all real life pictures I've just collected from different sources. It's not one source, so I have not named it, but they're from pictures from different locations across India. These are the actual waste that is being dumped in the oceans, in the sea, in rivers, at various places. And these are what we are looking at the future. We are not having natural water. We are going for bottled water. And these bottled water, I mean, even drinking water, we have to purchase. And we are not sure about the purity of that, from which source it is coming. So these are all the challenges that we are facing. In Ahmedabad, there is a region called Pirana. Pirana is actually a dump, right? In Gujarati, they say it's a dump place where all the waste is being dumped. Now that is being cleared off. That dump is being cleared off. It was said that around it would take 10 years for that dump to be cleared if it is cleared at the pace it is being cleared right now. So we need a lot of solutions here where we need to look at these options. So here, when I'm looking at these solutions, probably IT, technology, there are various engineering solutions, because this is not just an IT or CS, computer science related domain. This actually leads to lot of options given here. Like suppose if I say that I'm looking at chemical waste management, then I need some chemical technology person to be on board. I'm looking at waste management, I need some environmental related person to be on board. So this is an interdisciplinary position that is moving. So these are all options where I was telling you that computer is really leading to a lot of waste generation over here. Like computers are being disposed here. These are the old systems. Now laptops are being there, mobiles are there. So all this is the e-waste that is being generated. And this e-waste also recycling is not being done mostly. So are we looking at a problem here? Yes, because we are over dependent upon these devices. So when these devices are being actually replaced by new devices, what about the old devices? So that recycling needs to take place. So that is where e-waste management is a bigger challenge. Natural hazards, we can do very less about it, but we can plan for the future in such a manner that we have all our different environmental concerns addressed, so that these kind of natural disasters are reduced going forward. These are man-made hazards which we can definitely avoid. Explosions, deforestation. Deforestation is something which we need to look at. Traffic is something which we need to look at. There are a lot of solutions there. IT related solutions are there. Like you can use pooling for that. Carpooling can be done. You can have a lot of automated solutions. Now for carpooling also, you can have various apps are there through which it can be addressed. So a lot of solutions are there which we can think about going here. Greenhouse effect, again, global warming and climate change. These are all images which actually sensitize us towards the problems. This is one more big problem, health and human well-being. Now, from aging population to emerging epidemics or pandemics, we are facing it all. Right? Many countries like Japan has a higher age segment group. Very young people are very less comparatively. So we need to look at sustainable development there, where we have development of all the ages, and how we can grow here sustainably, how we can give healthcare facilities to the elderly people, because now robots are helping out in elderly care also. In Japan, I have seen a lot of such solutions where soft robots are being used to give company to such kind of elderly people, because young people are not there. So how can we go about it? How can we provide them company so we can have robotics implemented in this? Now this is one solution which we have been working upon, so I would just like to reflect upon this particular solution. These are the waste management solutions that is being reflected here. Now, there are a lot of e-waste being generated: paper, glass, organic, plastic, e-waste, and metals. All these are waste being generated. Now, there are some issues here which we need to address. Garbage collection, management, and classification is a bigger issue. Biomedical waste collection and segregation or recycling. Like suppose we have masks. We are using the mask. Normally we throw out the masks. We do not even properly dump it into the appropriate dustbin. So biomedical waste is just like included in any other bin that is being provided. Lack of records and data management of waste, that is also there. So these are major issues which we are looking at. Hazardous waste and healthcare issues, manpower issues, because whatever we are dumping right now, we don't have the right people to do the job. I mean, people are not having the safety equipment, so we are putting them at risk. So what are the solutions? Can we have robotics in this? Definitely we can work towards this. So lack of awareness of waste disposable mechanism, lack of technology penetration, like we don't have technology in this area being used much. This is how we can move towards biomedical waste management. We can separate it. We can have some bins which can separate it. Like I've just, we have a smart bin here, smart garbage can called Big Belly, which alerts when it needs to be emptied. And also it can separate it into separate waste. Like it can separate the waste automatically when it is dumped into the bin. We can have these garbage sorting robots which can do the work of garbage sorting, so we don't have human exposure towards this. Then we have recycling robots can be used. So these are all solutions which can be provided. So robotics, I feel, can provide a lot of solutions going ahead, because be it supply chain management, because during lockdown we saw that if we have robots doing delivery of vaccines, If we have robots doing delivery of goods, then they are a safer option compared to human beings being in the supply chain management process. So this is something which we can look at. This is how we can move towards IoT based AI and IoT based waste management system. The entire thing is automated. We have a driverless vehicle, autonomous vehicle, which would actually do the work of collecting the waste from different areas. And we have smart bins which are actually highlighting when it is 75% plus full, so that the route detection can be done accordingly. There's a machine learning algorithm which can work on it. All the data is stored on a cloud which can be accessed by all the authorities. Like suppose if I say here are the authorities, healthcare authorities, different municipal corporations, all these people have the access to the data, so they can actually view this in a proper manner, and they can take collective decisions based on whatever eventual data is provided to them. So these are all solutions which can be worked out, and some of the solutions are being developed here in form of projects. Now, instead of cloud, we can also go for edge computing, because all this data is getting very huge. So we can have edge computing, which can filter the data, which can use data pre-processing, and which can use it effectively for taking decisions. This is what I was talking about, the future farms. So like small and smart farms. This is a farmer actually sitting in his office, corporate office, as I told you, and he's monitoring the entire farm sitting over here. Whatever changes, there are drones here, agri-boats are there. There are smart tractors which are not to be driven by individual. Texting cows, because these cows have been fitted with RFID tags, so they can convey the information, and all this information is being monitored here. All the farming data is being monitored. So overall, if you see, the farmer is doing smart farming, and this is actually going to help farmers build better systems. And many projects are being done by IBM and various other companies for smart farming, and I think so this is going to be the future. Now these are the areas where AI can transform. These are the 8 particular areas. Climate change is one of them. As I told you, that we need to have sustainable land use, we need to have smart cities and homes, we need to have clean power. So all these are solutions where AI can be used along with other technologies like IoT, blockchain, etc., to give you better solutions. But the main center of the technology would be AI, artificial intelligence, which can include machine learning and deep learning. Biodiversity and conservation, again, in that pollution control, how we can make sustainability for human beings, how we can how it can result in sustainable trade. All these things can be covered using AI in the areas of biodiversity and conservation. Healthy oceans, as I've already told you, that we can have cleaning mechanisms which can be automated. We can have such mechanisms which can prevent dumping of waste into the oceans and the seas. So that can be a good solution that can be worked out. Water security can be worked out, where how we can manage our water solutions, smart water solutions, and many other solutions can be worked out. Clean air, again, how we can make our air clean, how we can filter it. I would like to say that there is an innovation where a lot of such solutions are being provided, where we can have a helmet which can actually filter the air and give clean oxygen to you, which you can inhale. So there are a lot of such solutions which are being worked out, but there are many still which we can work out. Weather and disaster resilience mechanisms, already a lot of work is being done by the government bodies and the different agencies which are working on it. We can also look at how we can contribute towards this. So with that, I would just like to end with this slogan that there are a lot of challenges here, but I hope together, if we make an initiative, we can meet all these challenges, and we can have an interdisciplinary approach towards removing these roadblocks and making us sustainable in the true term. So stay socially connected and observe physical distancing. So with this, I would just like to stop my presentation. And if any questions, I'm ready for this.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions from participants? Dr. Vaishali Ladema, any questions from your side?
Namaste, namaste to all. Dr. Sailesh sir, I have one question
Yes, ma'am.
regarding that mineral water bottles. Is there any algorithm that we can identify that mineral bottles are having the permitted hardness so that it will be potable water?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there are two mechanisms here. One is that the mineral water related, what is the different ingredients of it, like what is the purity, all this can also be checked. There are many sensors available for it, which can be connected and it can be programmed to give you the results. So it can be at the manufacturing stage itself, it can be integrated in the plant, which I think so most of the plants would be already having. And second thing is that the problem is that manufacturing is done by the manufacturer, but then by the time it reaches the customer, there are a lot of changes in the bottle. I mean, the bottles are also sealed in such a manner that you will not feel that it has been tampered with. So for that, blockchain can be used effectively to track the system from where it has traveled, who has who has actually accessed it. So if there is any kind of mismatch in that, the hash would actually report that there is some problem with the mechanism of delivery. So again, we had seen the same problem during the fake medicines also being delivered, like Ramdev Severe fake medicines were also being delivered during the COVID time because of the shortage of that. So the same thing could be tracked with the help of blockchain. So the same mechanism can be used in this also. If you are a customer, you want to check the authenticity of the bottle that you're buying, you can trace it from you customer to the retailer to the manufacturer. The entire chain can be tracked by you. So that is something which I think so we need to bring into all the products that we are consuming.
Yeah, that is okay. But for a common man, uh, there should be some algorithm so that they can identify that
No, it
the
would not
bottle
be an
is good
it would
to
not
means
be an algorithm. Yeah, ma'am, it would not be an algorithm, but just like we check the TDS of water. Similarly, some device using sensors can be made and it can be programmed for that. But again, the only problem is the viability, because if I am an individual and if it is going to cost me more, then would I be able to purchase that or not? That is a viability problem that we are facing. For big institutions, it is viable because they can have that particular checking mechanism there.
Okay.
So that is
Okay.
a,
Thank you, sir.
yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.